Hello everyone, welcome to Simply Just Dev, where we simplify development for beginners. Are you ready to dive into the world of programming? Because today I'm going to show you how to set up Ruby, one of the easiest and most powerful programming languages out there. And in just a few minutes, you'll be running your very own first Ruby program. So make sure to stick around and let's get started. But before we dive into the setup, let's talk about why Ruby is a fantastic choice, especially for beginners. Ruby was designed with simplicity in mind, and its syntax reads like plain English, which makes it easy to learn and understand even if you're completely new to coding. For example, check out this line of Ruby code that says, puts hello world. You can probably already guess, it just prints a message on the screen. No need for any complicated commands or setup. Beyond being beginner-friendly, Ruby is incredibly powerful for web development thanks to its popular framework, Ruby on Rails. Rails has helped power sites like Airbnb and Shopify, and it's known for speeding up development without sacrificing quality. Rails' philosophy of convention over configuration means there's a lot less setup to worry about, so you can dive right into building. So if you're looking to get into coding or even web development, Ruby is a great place to start. And now let's get it set up so you can start coding too. I'm going to show you how to install Ruby in a Linux platform. However, what I do have up on the screen is a Windows subsystem for Linux, which is a feature of Windows that allows me to run a Linux environment inside my Windows machine without needing a separate virtual machine or dual booting it. However, the commands that I'm going to be running are going to be the same whether you're inside WSL or Linux. So let's go ahead and have the terminal up. The first command that I'm going to type in is sudo apt update. That is going to update the Linux system. This is going to update the package list on a Linux system by retrieving all the latest package information from configured repositories. Next, we're going to run sudo apt upgrade. And what this command does is it's going to install or upgrade any packages on a Linux system. Do you want to continue? We'll type in yes. Okay, once we are done updating our Linux, we're going to install some packages and libraries. You can go ahead and copy this command, or you can find it down in the description below, which I will put. This command is going to install some required packages that do not come pre-installed. I already have those packages installed, so it was pretty short for me. And now you're ready to install Ruby. We're going to use a tool called rbenv. It makes it easy to install and manage Ruby versions inside your development environment. First, we are going to clone the repository for rbenv. I got this error because the folder already exists inside my directory. The next command that I'm going to use is going to set up rbenv. What the command does is it initializes rbenv inside your bash rc or z shell rc script file that runs whenever you log in into your terminal. And we can go ahead and find that by opening it in my code editor, and it will basically input this 2 lines of code inside your script file. Next, we're going to need to install Ruby build to help us compile the Ruby binaries. Run this command with me. And the next one is this command. Don't worry, I'll have these commands down in the description below. Once again, it gave me the error because I already have these directories inside my system. Now you can finally run rbenv space -v in order to get the version of the rbenv that you have installed in your system. And it should look something similar to this. Now it's finally time to install Ruby using rbenv. Inside the terminal, you can go ahead and type in rbenv install -list, and this will give you a list of stable releases that you can install for each Ruby implementation. Right now, it looks like the latest one that we have is 3.3.4, and that is the current Ruby version that I have installed in my system. So if I do go ahead and install it, it's going to throw me an error. And so for the sake of showing you the process, I will go ahead and install the 3.2.5 version. And so how I would do so is by typing in rbenv install 3.2.5, I can throw in a verbose flag that will show me what's going on so I can be sure that the installation hasn't gotten stuck. And then while this one installs, we can go ahead and take the time to take a break and walk around, and we'll be back once it's done. Okay, and we're back. Once Ruby is installed, you're going to need to tell rbenv which version you're going to use by default. So in the terminal, go ahead and type in rbenv global and put in the version that you'd like to use. For me, I'm going to use 3.3.4, and then you can go ahead and check ruby-v, and it should show you something similar to this. Congratulations, you've successfully installed Ruby. Now let's go ahead and write our very first Ruby program. Open up any text editor. You can use Visual Studio Code or NeoVim. In my case, I'm going to be using NeoVim, and we're going to name the file world.rb. I will go ahead and save that. That creates a file with a file extension of .rb, and what that means is that this text file is going to be a Ruby file. And now we're going to type in our very first line of code. Let's type in puts hello world inside quotations. Save that, go back inside our terminal. We are going to type in Ruby hello world, or the name of the file that you created, and it outputs hello world. Congratulations, you've just made your very first Ruby program. Now that we have Ruby installed, let's try out a couple more simple methods or code to get a feel for how Ruby works. All right, so I'm going to create a new sample Ruby file. Inside here, we're going to create a local variable called name. We're going to assign it a string object that is called simply just dev. All right, now we can go ahead and call the puts method and start our string. We're going to be using double quotes. We are going to type hello, comma, and we're going to use the pound sign and the curly brackets in order to put in our name local variable and close that with the curly brackets. What this is that we're going to interpolate the local variable called name inside this string. And so if you go ahead and save it and quit to your terminal and run that Ruby file, you'll see that your greeting has changed. Okay, now you can also do math with Ruby. In order to demonstrate that example, let's create a new file. Let's call it math.rb, right? Inside, we are going to use the puts method, use 5 plus 3, and then we can also use division, so 10 divided by 2. Ruby's all about making code feel natural, so feel free to play around. And if we go ahead and run that same math.rb file, we get our outputs, which are 5 plus 3 is 8, and 10 divided by 2 is 5. And that's it. We've installed Ruby. verified the installation that it is working, and written our very first program. You're officially on your way to becoming a Ruby developer. In the next video, we're going to dive deeper into Ruby basics like variables, data types, and strings. And so if you're ready to keep going, make sure to hit the subscribe and hit that bell for notification, and let me know down in the comments below if there are any questions, or is there something you want to share that you're working on currently. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.